so let me pin my comment. So this is the Gotham podcast. We're about to go live with at Johnny Venus, better known as Olu for me. We're gonna wait for everybody to kind of get here. Hey, my love. Just staging down the area. Yeah, I'm really excited about this. I've known this dude for a while. He's like family to me. Let me see, it goes live. So I'm trying to pin a comment. I feel like I'm sometimes. There we go. Boom. Pin that comment. Alright. Hey, yeah, this is the Gotham podcast. We're about to go live with Johnny. We're just setting things up. Anybody that doesn't know Olu, he is a part of a group called Earthgang that's signed to Dreamville. We have been friends for a while now, spanning like 2-3 years. So I asked him to do this because most people don't know how spiritually inclined he is as a person. And the only people that I have asked to do this are people that genuinely have grown me spiritually. So we're gonna get going. I'm telling him to bring his ass in now. Let me turn on music. And make sure you let me know. Hey, here we go. Boom. What's up? I hope you got signal. Why do you look like you don't have signal already? You got only man. Get some internet. It's so hard. I had Betsy and I had. You can't see me. It's because your internet connection is kind
I
of
can see you. I can see you. I
Turn
can
off.
see you.
You gotta turn off your internet.
It is off.
All right, maybe that's why it's like this.
I mean,
Hey,
I can see you.
I was having bets on whether you were gonna wear a shirt or not.
Why would I do that? It's 80 degrees outside. Why would I do
I
that?
don't know. I wasn't gonna wear a shirt either, but I thought if we both come dressed in the same thing, it's gonna be weird.
It's super hot outside.
It
It's hot as
is.
hell. Why would I put a shirt on? I'd be sweating like crazy.
Yeah, I guess you never wear a shirt anyway. I wasn't really expecting it.
It's too
But
hot.
hey, thank you for joining us. Okay, this is the Godflow podcast for anybody that's joining. It's basically a way for us to get in tune with each other, get in tune with ourselves, and find ways to get into flow with the energy that we call God or the divine, whatever you want to call that energy as. For most people don't know that this guy here is like family to me, and he's one of the people that has definitely spiritually grounded me in my life for the last few years. So I've only asked people to do this that I feel like have something to teach, something to share, and something to give. So thank you for being here.
For sure. Good morning.
Good mornings.
Good morning.
How is you?
I'm doing well. Just getting my outside time. Every day I gotta go outside and just hang out for a little while. So just getting my outside time. Chilling. Enjoying the sun, the nature, the birds, stuff like that. It's really nice. Really peaceful.
So that kind of leads me to my first question, which I'll kind of ask everybody because it's the God flow. What is your idea of God? Like, how
My
would you
idea of
describe
God
Yes. How would you describe
is
God to you?
our energy.
Okay.
That's my idea of God, energy. And that can come in so many different ways. Like even if we say nature, I could say God is nature, but I mean in all aspects, this is just energy.
Yeah.
Like the birds, trees, Animals eat the leaves, they get energy. The animals die, they compost into the ground. The trees get the energy from the animals again to grow. All of they get their energy from the sunlight. The animals get their energy from the water. You know what I'm saying? So that, to me, that's what God is, energy.
So God is energy. So in the terms of your definition of God, it would be being in flow with energy would be the way that we get into communion with God. So when we
For
get
sure.
into flow with energy, that's when we're in communion with God.
100%, 100%. When we in flow with the energy space, or and even when sometimes when it's when we have negative energy, you know, sometimes you can offset that with positive energy, and I think that is also being in flow with God. You know.
Yeah, it's crazy because yesterday I thought about this. It just came to me. I was like, so what is being in love? Because one of my definitions of God is love, because I feel like love is the most potent energy in the universe. I feel like love is what actually keeps everything going, from our hearts to how the plants grow to the birds flying in the sky. So then I thought about the concept of even being in love, and especially when you're in love with someone else. I thought, is that being in flow then with someone? When you are in rhythm with another human being, is that what being in love is?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that is love when you're in rhythm. Even when everything is not always peachy clean, or if y'all getting on each other's nerves, or you know what I'm saying, something like that, it's still love. You still in flow. Like nothing is gonna be perfect. You know what I'm saying? Nothing is gonna be 100%. There's no issue. We never have an issue. Like that's just how life is. But I definitely believe that that is a type of God, or an example of God manifesting through humans. Not even only through humans, but through like dogs and shit. Like the love that a dog have for a human, or a man for his dog, or for a pet, or you know what I'm saying, like a horse, or like I see these dudes. I follow this account, the Sheldrick Wildlife Trust, where it's an animal refuge primarily for elephants in Africa, and you can just see that the elephants really trust the keepers and the people who watch
They have
over
a
them.
relationship, yeah.
Yeah, they have a relationship, and it's so strong that elephants that have graduated from the sanctuary come back with
Back to the
herds, like just to reintroduce their
yeah.
new kids to the keepers. You know what I'm saying? So like, I think that's God right there. That's love and flow, not just through human beings, but through all living things.
Okay, so that leads me to the second question, which is how do you then get into flow? How, even when you're feeling like, because especially in the time that we're living now, we can't ignore it. People feel very much so out of sync with their day-to-day routine, so they feel out of sync with themselves. How do you get into flow with yourself and your energy and God?
I like to sit down. I sit down on the floor. Sitting on the floor really helps. Sitting on the ground and sitting on the floor really helps. But I would start by, sometimes you have to like quiet yourself, listen, be some. To me, a lot of times it's like physically connecting with things. So
Okay.
sometimes when I have writer's block, I grab a notepad and a pen to write with. You know what I'm saying, rather than just
Yeah.
writing on my phone. Other things, like I said, I sit on the floor to write, or I just allow myself to like freely write in order to not block whatever's coming. And then usually something comes,
So you
something
ground
comes that
yourself,
you work
yeah.
with. Yeah.
Because I feel like in stillness, I'm learning a lot about one of my biggest quarantine learns has been breaking is healing. Without breaking, there is no healing. So we have to break in which to heal. And healing is such a big teacher for us. And a part of that, I realized the part of healing first, because I hurt my finger. It's getting better, by the way. Yeah. I realized by watching it at first, I just had to sit still. I had no other choice, because every time I moved, it would hurt. But the pain wasn't there to punish me. The pain was there to remind me that I need to be still.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever we feel a discomfort, especially like in these times, there is this need to feel like, oh, but the relaxing and being still is the first step of healing and getting through it and working through it. So the fact you said being still and grounding yourself, I think that's
Yeah,
necessary.
those are usually the first things. Like because I can't. I have to. My mind moves all the time, so I have to like slow things down in order to clearly articulate what I'm feeling, or clearly understand what I want to say. You know, like I'm not the type of person that just goes off the cuff because it would sound like gibberish. So I have to like kind of hone things in,
Yeah.
aim, and then shoot.
So is that how you get into flow creatively? Because most people here will know that you're in a group called Earthgang and
Yeah.
music and
So creative, yeah. Most of the time, creatively, that's how I work. Um, I if I have an idea, if I get a melody that comes to my head, and I put it down, and then I build off of that, or sometimes some things just end up coming. It's very spontaneous, but it's the intent behind it that allows it to go, that allows it to work. Like most recently, I've been doing a lot of writing, and even sometimes when I have that writer's block, I'll just like sit down and like be like, listen, man, we're gonna write this song. Like I don't care if you feeling it right now, or if you're not feeling it right now. Like we're gonna write this song.
so that's writing from
And
discipline instead of so some creatives like to create by inspiration and that seems like on the other side creating through discipline where you just consistently like make yourself.
I mean that's important. I mean it's like
Yeah.
it's a muscle. You know what I'm saying? Like anybody who's good at something is good at it because they do it a lot.
Yeah.
They're not good at it just because they was blessed with this amazing gift. It's like, nah, like you do this shit all the time, you're gonna get
Yep.
good at it. It's
100%.
like that's like LeBron James or Kobe or Bruce Lee, you know what I'm saying, or Beyonce. Like if you do this shit all the time, you're gonna get good at it.
Yeah.
Simple as
100%.
that.
And you have to get, I always say, I said to someone the other day, I was like, you don't have to be great to get started, but you have to get started to be great. You
For
can't
sure.
expect to
For
show up.
sure.
You have to be willing to be a fool in order to be a master at something.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of times I suffer from that a lot too. If I'm not feeling it, I'll be like, man, this shit not fire. But a lot of times it's like, man, just keep pushing, just keep pushing, just keep pushing, and you'll break through to another level. And then of course the accolades will come, but like you just don't forget what it took to get there. You know what I'm saying? Like just as long as you don't forget, then you'll be fine.
Yeah, the reward is in the work. And I think that's what I see, because everything is energy. Like we spoke about God being energy and even saying flow. That's the reason why I said God flow. It's like the current moment, current flowing in that. So if it's a flow, I think of water. And if you think of a pipe, if a pipe was clogged, it's like pushing water through it until all the yucky stuff gets out. And then after it's going to be clear. It's going to be a clear stream, but you have to push through in order to clear your creative pipe or clear your energetic pipe, which I feel.
No, definitely. That's really true. And our pipes get clogged up all the time.
All the time.
You could go to sleep and then wake up the next day and be like, I'm not in the creative vibe, you know what I'm saying?
100%.
But that's cool. Like, go outside, take a walk, you know what I'm saying? Like, listen to some albums you never listened to before. Watch a couple of movies,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like, write about the movies while you're watching them, you know what I'm saying? You might get something in there, you know? So you got to be able to understand how to draw inspiration from all types of things also as well. Draw inspiration from conversations, from
Yep.
jokes, you know what I'm saying? All things like that. And that it definitely helps.
And in order to do that, you have to be present, is what I always say to people. You have to be able to take a moment and be here. And it's hard to say, but if I'm here, I'm present. But no, you have to be in the moment. It's our minds get very distracted, and we're living so much in the future or so much in the past that we miss even the moments of inspiration that could happen from a bird flying across our way in a divine timing, or meeting someone that says something to you that hits you in the right chord instead of walking past them because you've taken the moment to stop and appreciate the person that's in front of you. These things, when you're present, helps you, I think, gain inspiration in that way. It's the biggest thing, flow. So
Definitely.
a big thing that I know about you is you're very in touch with the community. You're a big community person. From the first moment I met you, you were big on the community, West End of Atlanta to be specific. But how has community impacted you and lifted you up to even introduce you into what kind of you are now and who you are now?
My community has kept me spiritually aware. And I think that for me is the most important thing from my creative ability. Because once you're spiritually aware, then you are open to the different complexities of what a human can be. You know
100%.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you're able to create stories or create songs and write things about realities that we go through that we may not always understand, but you understand that it's possible because you understand the complexities of spirit. So that has helped me tremendously, 100%. And just being proud to be a black man. You know what I'm saying? Like that has helped also, because like if you're not proud to be yourself, if you're not, you know what I'm saying, accepting yourself or content with who you are, then how can you be an example for other people to love themselves, you know? So I'm very blessed in that aspect, where I didn't have to like unlearn so much, you know what I'm saying? I was taught to love myself. I was taught that I am not a mistake, or that I'm not inferior to any other people, group of people, or any other type of people. I don't care if you got money, if you got status. I was taught that that's not what makes you,
person.
you know what I'm saying, what you are, who you are.
Yeah, that's definitely important. That is 100% important. I think so much times we get wrapped up in, especially external, and that doesn't. What he said, I think, applies to any race, no matter what like ethnicity you are, what race you are, what background you're from. To truly, authentically love yourself comes from a acceptance, and an acceptance comes from an awareness, and all of you. That's the thing, like good, bad, the ugly, the bits in between. To be truly like accepting of yourself is important, and I commend you for that more than anything, because you find ways to balance your masculine and feminine energy. See how that was a nice segue into the next question? You see how I did that there? No, for real. But yeah, you find a great way to balance masculine and feminine. And for me, when I say that, I don't mean genitalia. So we're not talking about what the world sees as a woman and what a world sees as a man. The way I describe masculine and feminine energy is right brain, left brain. Right brain is feminine energy. It's more the free-flowing creativity and the expression of emotion. And the left brain is the logic, the structure, the strength in the decision making and things like that. But you balance both. Have you
But
always been that?
it's so funny, because honestly, I think women are so logical. Like now, when it comes to like love and things like that, that may be different. It might be all passion, right? Which I respect.
Yeah.
I appreciate that and I respect that. But a lot of men that I know, and a lot of men even growing up, they made the money and then they turned the money over to their woman. Like you make sure the bills is good.
Funny.
You make sure the groceries is good. You make sure the kids get what they get. I make the money, and I trust you to do the logical things with this bread to make sure that our family is where our family needs to be. You know what I'm saying? So like, and that to me is like, it shows that it's not really an either or thing. You know what I'm saying? And also with action, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people be like, a man's energy, the masculine energy is action or strength or something. I'm like, man, I guess so. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know a lot of women who's just like go out and get what they want, you know what I'm saying? And like make that shit happen. But I think I, I, I open myself up to that learning experience, because I know as Black people in America, we have been rearranged. You know what I'm saying? Like we have not given ourselves the opportunity to truly be the men, especially Black men. You know what I'm saying? Because I know Black women bear of the weight of the oppression and all of those things, but they still go out there, get money, they still raise children, and that's a testament to their power. But as Black men, it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like we persecuted because of who we are, what we look like, and two, it's hella hard to even like. It's hella hard to understand what a man is when you're always looked at to protect and provide. You know what I'm saying? Like if those are the two explanations of a man, a provider and a protector, like that's so narrow. You know what I'm saying? You don't give the Black man the opportunity to really be a human. You know what I'm saying? To really have the emotional complexities that a woman may have. You know what I'm saying? And I think that limits the scope of what we think a man should be. You know what I'm saying? So like a lot of times people be like, you really got your feminine energy popping and it's balanced well. And I'm like, yeah, on one hand that may be true, but on the other hand, I'm just a type of man that you unfamiliar with. You know what I'm saying? Like that you're just not used to. You used to one type of man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, well, there are other different types of masculinity. It's not always, you know what I'm saying, bravado, or it's not always, you know what I'm saying, aggression. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to be able to balance that into everything else, you know? So that, I feel like we are growing and understanding that and being a little more open to that. You know, I had somebody, I had somebody comment, I forgot what the comment was on one of my pictures. They was like, bro, you showing too much feminine energy. You need to
What does that
put
even
some more
mean?
masculinity in there. All you attracting are men, and you need to put some masculinity in there to be a strong black man for our black race. And I'm like, bro, you wilding, bro. Like,
Wild.
bro, you wilding, bro. First of all, you wilding. Second of all, I think I'm pretty okay when it comes to women.
Yeah.
I think we tight. I think we cool to get to understand each other. Like, so I don't really.
I think
I
that's an
feel like you too
insecurity within
narrow,
himself. Yeah, I think
huh?
that's that's an insecurity within himself because,
Yeah.
again, what you said, they've never been shown that. And I have to think about it often because I feel like I've been thinking about gender and just the roles that we play. And in my head, I love being a woman, but sometimes I don't identify with how feminine is kind of presented. And in the same way that you're saying, as a black man, how there's only been one role model for you and one way a woman, like one way a man should look and one way a man should be. I feel like it's the same for women in a way, because if you verge from anywhere from femininity, all of a sudden you're a tomboy. And it's
Yeah.
like, why do you associate anything that's not flowing and like, oh, with not being a woman? Because women embody so much, encompass so much. And yes,
Yeah.
we have been allowed to explore because we're born feminine in a masculine world. We find balance early on because we have the emotion, but then we're taught, oh, you have to go just as hard as the men do, you have to do just as much as this and that. So we find this balance earlier, but I still feel like in some ways it can cripple us. And I think that's just society as a whole, male and female, like these
Yeah.
ideas.
Yeah. And I mean, and even, you know what I'm saying, even traditionally, um, you know what I'm saying, over in the motherland, there are clearly defined gender roles, you know what I'm saying, but it's still all in harmony.
Yeah.
It's still like the man is still able to teach with love, you know what I'm saying, and still able to hold hands and be empathetic, you know what I'm saying, to situations and you know what I'm saying, like it's still different. Like women fought alongside with men, you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying, in war and things like that. So it was never really like you stay in the kitchen, you with the kids, and I go out here and I'm out in the woods. Like it because there comes a time when the man comes back to the village.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And there comes a time when the women leaves the village to do things that only women could do. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? So like there's always that space to where the energy can be shared and can be mixed. Like just like yin and yang. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's always yin and the yang, yang and the yin. So I never really put myself in that mold as I'm a man. This is what men do, and that's women. That's what women do. You know what I'm saying? Now there are times where I want to kick it with my guys. You know what I'm saying? Do guy things. But there are also other times where I want to hang with women and be able to communicate and laugh at silly shit and like have a good time just like I do with my guys. And the beauty in all of that is when we all can come together and do it.
100%. And we
You know
don't
what
see
I'm
that
saying?
often. We've spoke about that before. Like,
Yeah, like just
groups,
a
mixed
group
groups. Yeah.
it's 15 people, you know what I'm saying? 7 men, 8 women, and they all hanging out together. It's
Yeah.
not like I'm with my guys, let's go get some bitches or something. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's like we
100%.
all hanging out together.
Yeah, as
And
friends.
we
Yeah.
respect ourselves and we respect each other and we laugh, we having a good time. And that's I think sometimes it's very rare over here in America because we're so juxtaposed against each other. You know what I'm saying? It's like I'm hanging out with my girls. We might fuck with the guys if we want tonight, or we might just it's girls' night, or it's like I'm hanging out with my guys, and we just out to get
Yeah.
numbers, rather
Yeah.
than we not out to like really enjoy the time and really like just have fun, you
The
know?
separation is really big in America. I realized when I first came here, that was one of the main things that hit me culturally was just separate between gender, between color, between class. It was just so separate that you have your own little box to be in, and you get in that box, and you can't even interact. And coming from England, everybody is like you. It's just mixed. Like
Yeah. It's just people. You just
mixed.
people.
it's mixed. So I miss that because I feel like it's changed aspects of my personality, in which now when I look at people that are different, I almost see difference. It's almost like there is now a separation because I'm not around
Yeah,
you all the time. I
I
don't
feel
see
you.
you all the time, and that is like, it's I don't appreciate that being here, but I know that it's all systematic why it's been in that kind of mode for a while.
For sure, for sure, for
But
sure.
it's I was gonna ask you. Your next question was your spiritual practice. What would
Um,
you define your spiritual practice as?
so my spiritual practice is basically, it's just traditional African spirituality. You know what I'm saying? It's
Explain that
like,
for people that don't know that. What that is.
well, it's basically being in communion with nature, being in communion with your ancestors, with God, and with each other. Simple.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a
it's
very
really
simple way to
simple.
describe it. Yeah.
It's simple. I mean, there are aspects of all of this in all modern religions. You know what I'm saying? Like Christianity, like Catholicism. Let's say Catholicism, if you happen to be Catholic, on Ash Wednesday, they put the cross on your heads. Ash. Ash is an element. You know what I'm saying? It's element. It was fire, and now it's dirt. You know what I'm saying? In traditional African religions, sometimes you use mud and you use dirt in order to ground yourself or to bring yourself into a new place. You know what I'm saying? Same with baptisms. If you Christian, you know what I'm saying, you get a baptism and you are renewed. In traditional African religion, they have water rituals where they are used for cleansing, they are used for renewal, they are used to, you know what I'm saying, purify certain things. So it's like I feel like I just want to go back to the source rather than go to this end of it. You know what I'm saying? I want to go back to the source and understand really where it's from and how it's utilized. So
No, that is it goes back to what we were talking about at the beginning of being God is energy. So to understand, even for people, because I forget that we're not just talking on FaceTime. So for people that maybe not even understand the importance of the elements itself, to me, everything is vibration. Everything vibrates, and it vibrates at different speeds, at different levels. The molecules, if you zoom in and had a microscope and you looked at a rock, the rock would be moving, it wouldn't be still. So with these things having different vibrational levels, when we interact with these things and our vibration interacts, I feel like that's when the cleansing and the intention, partnered with intention, because intention is magic. Intention is you can say, oh, I'm going to be rich, but if your intent isn't holding a vibration of abundance, then you won't ever be able to get and receive the things that you want, because you are not vibrating at the same level as the things that you want. So I feel like with elemental things, it's one of the reasons I went plant-based, was that at some point the animal would intake the food from the earth, the sunlight, they would take that energy, and then you'll eat the animal, and then you'll get that energy into you. Without, now with the way the animals are kind of bred and raised, they don't intake any energy except for fear. They just intake fear all the time. So then based on that, you are taking in that secondhand fear. So it's all
yeah,
about,
I definitely agree. Now I am not vegan.
yeah.
I have not decided to 100% make that change yet. Maybe I will.
But you
Maybe I
don't
won't.
really eat meat.
But I don't really. I don't eat meat while I'm in America or Europe.
Yeah, exactly. That's
When I'm in Africa, I eat meat.
100%.
And
100%.
sometimes when I was in India, Lou, I eat meat. But I eat meat in these places, and not all the time, not every day, because I mean, they just like you said, they're raised and processed in a different environment
Completely.
than over here, where they're housed and they don't go outside,
Oh my
or
God.
you know what I'm saying, they slaughter right in front of each other, snatch from all that type of stuff, you know. So like, and funny enough, it doesn't like make my stomach hurt and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Now,
Yeah, 100%.
granted, I don't, even when I do eat meat, it's not like every day. You know what I'm saying? But it is another grounding agent. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? Like if you feel like you just been all over the place and your life is just up in the air, sometimes eating meat or eating beans or eating vegetables that have a lot of red or a lot of brown in it can help ground you for a
Because your root
moment.
chakra as
Yeah.
well. You're talking about things like
Yeah, I mean that's where it comes from the root chakra. which is the ones where, you know, our feet and our bones, you know what I'm saying? But like that helps ground you if you need to. So sometimes, you know, but like I said, only the purest of the pure. Like I don't, and I know some people be like, this shit don't ever make my stomach hurt. That's because your body adapts. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I had read it's
But
a thing.
in the long run, you know what I'm saying, there can be other side effects. You know?
Yeah, it's also mental clarity, it's things like that. And this is not advocated to go like plant-based. As I said, it's only for me in America and certain countries where I know the meat maybe is not like processed right, but in other places, you know, I don't think it's wrong. That's not all we're saying. But yeah, it's about how you intake energy. And I think on another level of that is how you intake energy. What you have on social media, that's your feed. Like I always say to people, when you're on social media, you are scrolling through your feed, which means you're digesting information, which means what are you energetically feeding yourself?
Facts.
Which is another level. So how with your position and your platform and the fact that you have to use social media and stuff for work in essentially as well, how do you balance that when it maybe affects you like energetically?
I take breaks. I make sure I take breaks. I go outside like I'm doing now, and
Yeah.
I put my phone down and make sure, you know what I'm saying, I focus. And even when I'm on there and I find myself being on there so much,
Yeah.
I just become aware of it. Sometimes I don't judge myself for it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I be like, damn, I'm caught up today. You know what I'm saying? I'm caught up. And it's cool. And I'm working on not being caught up. And I'm just let it be at that. You know what I'm saying? And some days I use it, you know what I'm saying? Some days it uses me. I can't, it is what it is, you know?
Yeah. We're still adjusting as well to this period because it's still new. It's
No, for
relatively
sure.
new,
For
like
sure.
all of this social media stuff and living on the interweb, having a profile that we have to like maintain as well. That is all a new, and we can't look to our parents like, how did you do this? Because they
Because
didn't.
they have no recognition of what this shit is like. They don't.
They don't know what they're doing.
Anybody born before 1980, they did not deal with this shit in their
But no,
teenage years, in their formative years.
no,
Okay,
no.
so you know what I'm saying, like, and I also pay attention to accounts of people born before 1980, like Will Smith, or like, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying, like just people who I know did not grow up with social media,
yeah, yeah,
but are still finding a way to make it work for them.
yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I'm
yeah.
saying? I'm like, there's something that I could learn from this. So let me watch, let me learn, let me take
And
my little notes, you know what I'm saying? And let me approach it in this way. So it's not totally consuming my life like it has been since I was fucking 13 years old. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, that's crazy. You recently posted about being celibate.
yeah.
Congratulations on your year.